Have you ever been out in public, restaurant, the mall or something with some friends, maybe family, the kids? And you're having a normal conversation when all of a sudden, out of the blue, but within earshot, somebody lets loose with the most inappropriate language. An F word. I mean, suddenly everything is turned on its ear. The air becomes heavier. The mood is changed. And the path that you were taking in that reasonably polite conversation is suddenly blocked by this very unbecoming blunder. You wince, shake your head in disgust, you grab the kid's hands and move away a little faster. Well, you know, today's readings are filled with F words. Take our first reading by Baruch, for example. Israel was living under bondage in exile in Babylon. They were filled with fear because they thought God had forgotten them. Actually, it was them that was doing the forgetting, because how many times had they gotten themselves in deep trouble and God was always there to rescue them. In our second reading, God is speaking to His beloved Philippians. Just for the record, that's a PH word, not an F word. Okay. It was the first church that He had founded. You know, being a Christian is kind of hard. And they were fouling up. They were losing their way on the path. And they were getting stuck. In our gospel reading today, Luke paints this very legalistic backdrop of imperial, gubernatorial, and high priestly reigns. You see, God came at a time when His people Israel considered religion nothing more than following rules and regulations. The F word in this story is failure. They were focused on living the letter of the law, but failed to live up to its spirit. And John the Baptist, the voice of one crying out in the desert, was reminding them how miserably they failed to live up to that spirit. And because they weren't even living the rules all that well, they began to think of themselves as failures. And when you believe that you are the sum total of your failures, you can't find your way to God very well. Now, in our own day and time, we're still living with those F words, and a few more as well. One of the biggies that comes to mind is futility. The futility of a world that thinks it's got all the answers when it doesn't even know the right questions to ask. The futility of a world that is so stuck on itself. The futility of a world that is fascinated with the lights that it has created, that it has failed to recognize the light of the world that has come into its midst. You know something? It's downright frustrating. I'll tell you. Rejoice. Rejoice. Because God offers us His F words. He wants to form us by filling in the valleys of our faults with His forgiveness. He wants to flatten the mountains of our pride with His faithfulness. He wants to fix those winding roads of our frailties with His fervor for us. And all the proof you'll ever need is that He invites us every day to a foretaste of forever here at the table of His supper. Let me ask you, have you ever tried something and fallen flat on your face? Rejoice. Rejoice, because God forgives you. Have you ever felt forgotten, alone? Cheer up. God has found you. Have you ever fouled up so bad that you think that it can never, ever be straightened out? Celebrate. Because God fixes that. Have you ever failed at living up your call in life? Oh, happy day. God forgives that. You see, church, God's F words are the flip side of the world's F words, because the world has a faulty way of seeing things. Look right here. By the point of view of the world, the sight of a condemned man being executed is nothing but sheer folly. By God's point of view, it's majestic freedom. It's the fullness of redemption. This Advent, God invites us to free ourselves from the world's F words, because He wants to fill us with His. And if we're willing to do this, I've got just one more F word for you. Brothers and sisters, our joy is going to be fantastic.